Hey, this is Jordan. This month's XDA Developer TV is brought to you by the Samsung Smart App Challenge 2012. Enter for your chance to win over $4 million in cash prizes by clicking the banner at the top of xdadevelopers.com or by visiting developer.samsung.com. Let's go ahead and get started. It's Monday, May 7th, 2012, and I thought we'd go ahead and do a quick recap of what happened over the weekend at xdadevelopers.com. The first big story I'd like to talk about is called C#, the future of Android. In case you're not familiar, currently Android is entirely done in Java. It's basically the Linux kernel wrapped up in a Java package. And because of that, Google has had nothing but legal problems out of Oracle because Oracle owns Java. Well, with that in mind, Xamarin, the company that's behind the Mono project, which is a cross-platform open source .NET development environment, sat down about a year ago to see what they could do with the Mono project to try to improve Android. Nothing much came of it immediately. However, about 5 or 6 days ago at this point, right at the beginning of May, they decided to go ahead and announce, and open source at the same time, Zobot OS. Just to read off a little bit of their statement, they said, "Over and over, we came back to the basics. Dalvik is a young virtual machine. It's not as performant or tuned as Mono and suffers from many of Java's performance limitations without the benefit of high-end optimizations from Oracle's hotspot. One crazy idea we had was to translate Android source over to C#, and it looks like that's exactly what they're planning to do. They're translating Android 4.0 over to C# instead of Java. Now, I'm not really sure where I stand on this one. C# was created a few years back by Microsoft, and Microsoft released the standard open to the community to use, and that is why the Mono project exists today, and it actually is being used in a lot of Linux distributions. Actually, the odds are pretty good that you're running a C# application somewhere on your system running through Mono. On the one hand, I could see it being kind of beneficial to move to C#. There might be some performance improvements there, but on the other hand, would we face any legal battles in the process? No one really knows at this point. I wouldn't anticipate it, but you just, like I said, you never know. If you do have any programming experience and want to lend your voice to the conversation, go ahead and do so in the comment section down below. The next big story from the XDA site this weekend had to do with HTC. Over the last few months, we have seen HTC roll out a couple of really big devices. However, we haven't seen the older devices being updated. Well, it looks like that may all change in the very near future, because as of this last week, we've had an early release leak of the HTC Evo 3D Ice Cream Sandwich ROM. XDA recognized developer Daston1015 has gone ahead and posted this RUU for users to look at, check out, and see if it works for them. However, XDA recognized developer Chad.Goodman has pointed out that the mount points in it are wrong, but they are working to correct the problem and make it work for as many people as want to try it out. So if you do have the HTC Evo 3D and you're interested in trying out Ice Cream Sandwich on it, go ahead and read through the thread over on the XDA Developers Forum. And speaking of the HTC Evo 3D, some other interesting news came out of that forum this week. As you may or may not know, Microsoft is working on Windows 8. It should be releasing sometime in the near future, who knows really when. But apparently some of the developers that have been using it have had trouble getting their Android-related tools working, such as ADB and Fastboot. Well, thanks to a very helpful post in the HTC Evo 3D forum from XDA senior member Luthien1, there's now a quick tutorial that can get ADB and Fastboot working for any users of the Windows 8 preview that's currently available. So if you're one of those early adopters that's running Windows 8 already and running it in the test phases and everything, wanting to make sure everything works for you, go ahead and head over to the thread on the XDA Developers Forum and see if you can make ADB and Fastboot work for you. And the last thing that I thought was kind of interesting from the XDA Developers site from this weekend involves another HTC device, specifically the HTC Blue Angel. Now, the HTC Blue Angel is a relatively old device. It actually originally came with Windows Mobile 2003 on it, but it's had ports of other OSs such as Windows Mobile 5, Windows Mobile 6, and 6.1. It was also at one time seen running Android 1.0, and that's even been a while back. But this week it came out that XDA recognized developer D2 has successfully ported and released the first alpha version of Gingerbread 2.3.6 for the Blue Angel. Like I said, it's in an alpha state, so it's not 100% functioning yet, but it does have a lot of good functioning features such as a working touchscreen, SD card, Bluetooth, hardware buttons, even hardware acceleration, which a lot of newer devices don't even have on Gingerbread. However, there are some not working issues to it, such as battery and phone. So if you are interested in this, it is a really cool proof of concept kind of thing. They are working on it. It's an alpha. Hopefully they will get a fully functioning version of 2.3.6 Gingerbread soon. To be entirely honest, I think it'd be kind of cool to see Ice Cream Sandwich on it, but that may be asking just a little bit too much. Anyway, as I've said before, it's very cool to see a device that has some age on it, that still has a community that's building code for it and making things for it, and I do have to give the big thumbs up to those people, so thank you very much for supporting your device. Anyway, that's all I've got for you. Hope you all had a great weekend, and I will see you again later in the week. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.